their gold at the FIBA U17 World Championships. The USA, 27 games unbeaten at this tournament, take on Korea in the quarterfinals. Welcome along to Zaragoza, Spain from me, Tim Long, alongside former Great Britain international Flinda Boyd. It's the final 8 of the world's premier under-17 international basketball tournament here at the Siglo XXI Pavilion, the 4th edition of this FIBA tournament. The USA have dominated all 3 of the previous editions, going undefeated and claiming the gold medal each time. Korea, the latest challengers, trying to end the streak in the last of the day's quarter-finals. Victory today for Turkey, Lithuania narrowly in overtime, and for Spain most recently over Australia. Turkey will face Spain in the semi-finals tomorrow. Lithuania will face the winner of this final quarter-final matchup. The USA 4-0 so far at this tournament, 27-0 altogether at the Under-17 World Championships. Korea 3-1 in this tournament. They beat China by 5 in the round of 16 on Tuesday, 75-70. A hard-fought, close contest, although Korea led for the vast majority, came through in the end shooting 67% inside. And the USA, who destroyed Argentina by 53 points on Tuesday, 109-56. It was effectively done and dusted after the first quarter. The USA leading 26-5. 7 players went on to score double figures in that round of 16 game. Former Great Britain international Flinda Boyd alongside me, Tim Long, for the 4th quarter-final of the day here at the FIBA Under-17 World Championships. Flinda, 3 close matchups so far, a couple of upsets. What chances, if any, of that continuing here?
Well, you said it. Maybe there's something in the water. Today is the day of upsets. If there's ever a day that Korea is going to win, it's today. And I tell you, it's a long shot for them. But they've got some good players. Basketball in the country has improved leaps and bounds. You talk about some of their top guys. Jung-Hwan Lee has been a handful for everybody in the tournament, averaging 23 points a game. He can do it from inside, outside. He's somebody that the U.S. team has to shut down.
The Koreans introduced on court, but what about the talent on this USA roster? So many potential weapons attacking from all angles, and really the favourites to win the gold medal by a long, long way, and looking to stretch that 27-0 run at this competition.
Well, there's talent all over the court, and they're deep. They play 12 men. Everybody gets a shot. They have 6 guys in double figures, in fact 7 guys in double figures, so they do it from everywhere. So for Korea, there isn't one guy to key in on.
Before we get the quarterfinal underway, we'll have the national anthems, starting with Korea. The USA perfect to win Group A, a 3-0 record, an average winning margin of 46 points. They demolished Chinese Taipei 119-45, then beat Turkey 84-66, then steamrolled Egypt 104-57 before that big victory over Argentina in the round of 16 a couple of days ago. Your officials for this one from Spain, Argentina and Turkey. Korea 2-1 to finish third in Group D, behind France and Bosnia, albeit on the same record as the top two. And this is the roster that will take on the USA today.
Yeah, we talked about Hung Yong Lee. He's only 15, plays forward, but he's as good as anyone in this tournament. Averages 23 points per game. He can do it from the inside and the outside. And he's going to be the reference point for Korea and the USA. They've got to be wary of him everywhere on the court.
They showed their quality right off the bat in this tournament. They beat France by 6 in an overtime win in game 1. It will take some doing to beat this American side, though.
Well, the man to watch here is Colin Sexton. He's a guard, off guard. He can do it inside. He can do it outside. He rebounds. He passes. He plays good defense. And then other guys, Gary Trent Jr., Marcus Howard, Jaron off of him. He's the catalyst of this USA team.
We've talked about the depth of this American roster. Nobody averaging more than 25 minutes a game. Everybody getting at least 13 minutes per game. You look at the Korean starting 5 here, and for them it's essentially just a 7-man rotation. 4 players averaging over 30 minutes a game.
And one of the tough things here for Park and Shin and Yang playing inside is going to be rebounding. Can they keep the USA team off the glass? They've done fairly well so far in the tournament, but you're talking about a different beast with this USA team. And here's the starting 5 from USA. Gary Trent Jr., he's been spectacular in this tournament. Kevin Knox, he's the son of a former American football player. He's big and burly inside, but really the guys they bring off the bench, they're as good as these starting 5. So anybody that's on the court has the potential to be in.
3 big guys putting up tremendous numbers. Cartier-Gordon, almost 12 points per game in 14 minutes per game. Wendell Carter Jr., who starts here today, 10 points per game in 16.5 minutes a game. And Austin Wiley, 9.2 points per game in 13 minutes a game. Incredible numbers.
I mean, incredible numbers. And they've been putting up big numbers all tournament. They're scoring a lot. They're shuffling guys in and out. So everybody feels a part of the team, and that's important, especially when you've got a team as talented as this.
A tough ask then for Korea's Seal Oh to try and instigate the biggest upset of the day. What does it take out of you in a tournament like this when the games come thick and fast, when you do only have such a short rotation as Korea do?
Yeah, I mean, one of the key things is to stay out of foul trouble. You know, if you can stay out of foul trouble, you're going to have a chance. But once you have to go deep into your bench, you can see Donald Showalter, the USA coach. He's a legend of USA coaching. He's been in the college ranks, the high school ranks. He knows his way around. But, you know, getting back to Korea, they've got to slow this game down and try and control the tempo. A little bit like we saw Lithuania a couple games ago, able to control the game and run their sets and get what they want.
Min-Suk Sin, the number 11 for Korea, is actually averaging at this tournament 41.2 minutes per game because one of their games went to overtime.
Yeah, well, needless to say, he hasn't gotten a lot of rest so far in this tournament. And, you know, that's another thing. The USA players, they're relatively fresh. They haven't, although they've traveled a fair amount, they've been playing sparingly.
The last of the quarterfinals about to take place here at the FIBA U17 World Championships in Zaragoza. Myself, Tim Long, national, the USA, a program that's won 8 straight gold medals at youth level, getting the start here and looking for a quick score. Back out it goes to the perimeter and inside to Carter Jr. And the first points on the board quickly.
Great touch by him. You see his skill there, just turned around and was able to just float it in over the rim.
Korea looking to respond. Carter Jr. defending over on the far side. Minwoo Park back to the perimeter. Korea attack, left-handed layup, no good for Dongjun Kim. Here comes Trent Jr. down court. Onto Smart, can't flip it up and in. Grabs the rebound, misses the second attempt as well. Colin Sexton gets on the ball though, and a foul on the perimeter as Gary Trent Jr. handles the basketball.
And you notice right away, as soon as USA get the rebound, they want to push the ball as fast as they can. They want to get up and down. Here you see the foul against Gary Trent Jr. He's as well a son of a former NBA player. Shack of the Mac, Gary Trent.
Here is Trent Jr. bouncing his way inside, gets the rebound and puts it in. Averaging 11.5 points per game at this tournament. Jae-Min Yang, Min Suk Sin. Waiting for Jae-Min Yang again, put it from the far side and put in by Min Suk Sin.
You know, when you're the underdog, that's the most important thing, is that first basket. As soon as that goes in, everything else starts to flow. And the USA, hey, they've got to be careful with him. He can shoot it.
Brown picked off. Here come Korea to try and take the lead. Song-Yun Lee banks it in.
Gorgeous. You don't see that taught a lot nowadays, but if you can pull up in the 12, 13-foot range and bake it in off the glass, it's a really gorgeous shot.
Three-pointer for the US off the mark from Kevin Knox. Korea looking to continue their scoring spurt. A 5-0 run for them. Song-Yun Lee, and it goes to the far side, put up by Jae-Min Yang. No score this time. Knox out to Smart for three. Big rebound inside and put back in by Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah, and he's a big load down there, long arms, rebounds as well as anybody in this tournament. And Korea, they've got to box out or it's going to be a long night.
Carter Jr., the team's leading rebounder in 2 of the last 3 games. The USA force the turnover. Smart hangs it up and it's flipped up and in by Knox.
Great pass by Smart, looked one way, floated it up to Knox, who had the ability to catch and finish.
USA with 8 points in 3 minutes and a chance to add to that tally. Hung high off the glass, but a little too early for the party tricks.
A little too early. The USA coach throws his arms up and says, hey, come on, guys, stick to the fundamentals. And already 3 minutes into the game, we have a substitution. That's how deep this USA team. It's a constant stream of fresh legs.
Song-Yun Lee directing traffic, waiting for some movement from Jae-Min Yang, who goes inside now. Song-Yun Lee clings onto the ball, finds his man in the corner, with 3 short.
Well, that's a great pass by Lee. Get into the key, make the defense commit, and find the open man.
The USA turn it back over to Korea. Jae-Min Yang goes back to Min Sung Sin. Dong-Jun Kim. Song-Yun Lee. And he's fouled by Carter Jr.
Well, Korea, they're not playing with any fear so far in this match. When they get the ball, they're attacking the rim. They're taking good shots. They're not being forced into anything. Here you see Lee with the quick move going left, forcing the foul.
2 conflicting styles, the athleticism of the Americans, the shooting of the Koreans. They've been limited to 5 points in the opening 3.5 minutes though. Able to add to that tally. Minwoo Park with the mid-ranger. Driving move from Howard and able to get it to drop.
And he cut right into the teeth of the defense, which forced Korea to commit, and it floated in off the backboard. Howard
had a team-high 19 points in the Game 3 win over Egypt. There's the quarterback pass down court for the USA, but Javonte Smart not quick enough to catch up with it.
And for Korea, you see a nice little 15-footer. Crucial they get back in transition defense, or it's going to be dunks all night for USA.
Song-Yun Lee out to the perimeter, gets it back. Korea looking to create a good look, get pressed in there. They do get the three away, nothing but net for Min-woo Park.
Big shot. And I don't think even 5 minutes into the game we thought this game was going to be tied.
A turnover for the Americans as well. That's their 5th of the game inside of 5 minutes.
You know, when you start a game and you're such a favorite like this, here you see the foul. Just tosses Park out of the way. Not really much there, to be honest, but foul nonetheless. You know, when you're a huge favorite like this, it's sometimes easy to overlook your opponent. You get a little lackadaisical. You don't stick to the fundamentals, and I think that's something the USA coaches are going to talk to them about first time of the timeout.
Midway point of the first, and Korea looking to take a lead. Min Sung-sin draws contact on his route to the rim. Strong, positive, aggressive drive, tipped away by Jackson Jr. The foul called though, and Min Sung-sin out the line, 7 of 13 over the first 4 games of this tournament. This is that one.
And Sexton checks in for the USA team. We talked about him. Does a little bit of everything. He rebounds, he gets steals, he can shoot. He's a key catalyst for this USA team.
Led 7 players in double figures in the round of 16 win over Argentina, had 14 points. Just shows how well that the USA can spread the scoring. Howard, the basket wouldn't have counted. It's a turnover for America again. Kevin Knox called, and that's 6 turnovers.
Well, and that's talking about a turnover a minute right now.
Dong-Jun Kim slips through the fingertips of Song-Kyun Lee, and Korea turn it right back over. We talk about how much the Americans are favourites, and complacency perhaps able to creep into the game when you're in such a position. Korea are a shooting team, and any shooting team can put it together on any one night.
Well, no question about it. So far, they're outplaying the USA team. Again, a turnover. I mean, astonishing number of turnovers.
Averaging more than 1 a minute now. Jae-min Yang banks it in. Korea by 3.
I don't know what it is, but as a fan of basketball, I love the 12, 13, 14-foot bank shot. That was gorgeous.
Fingertip roll no good from Trent Jr. Offensive board and a foul.
And way to stick with it there with Knox. Trent Jr. misses the initial shot. Knox stayed with it. Here you see Trent Jr. missing. Knox able to find himself a little bit of space underneath, and I bet he thinks he probably should have finished that and got the end.
Some great rebounding numbers from this American team as well. Just about everybody averaging over 3. Nobody averaging more than the 9.2 from Wendell Carter Jr. They just spread around the responsibility in every department. Kevin Knox at the line, hits them both, 1-point game. There's the press from the Americans. Korea able to play their way out of it. They'll pull up for 3 as well, short this time. Sexton, aggressive move inside, couldn't get it to drop. Another offensive board though, and it's Sexton who profits of the second bite of the cherry.
And Korea, they've got to find a way to rebound better. I mean, you've got 3 USA players under the hoop. Any of them could have got the offensive rebound.
A short 3 again, but a bit of miscommunication on the rebounds between Howard and Sexton.
And even on the defensive end for USA, I mean, a wide open shot for Korea. I mean, that shouldn't happen. A team of with this much talent.
3.5 minutes to play in the first. The USA by 1. Jae-min Yang inbounding. Min Sung-sin moves it into the paint. Jae-min Yang again. Quickly on to Knox. Knox back to Quickly on the perimeter. Moved on by Jackson Jr. to the far side. Another turnover. Unbelievable turnover numbers in the first. Can Korea make it count and get back ahead? It's short from Song Hyun Lee.
Well, they've had their chances, Korea.
High catch and finish by Kevin Knox. Talk about Korea being a shooting team and having their chances. 2 of 8 from downtown.
Yeah, and a lot of them have been wide open looks. If you want to beat this USA team, you got to knock down the three-pointer. The three-pointer, that's the great equalizer in this sport. They're never going to out-rebound the USA team.
Sexton taking a seat. The 8 turnovers from the USA, not really made to count by Korea because of those three-point shooting numbers. We know they're capable of much more. They're down by 3.
I mean, you look at these stats, they're astonishing. 13 rebounds to 1 for USA and 8 turnovers already for USA.
They move it around to the far side, look to attack towards the baseline, laid up and in by Smart.
Strong move by Smart, the quickness. He recognized the defense leaning and took a direct line straight to the hoop.
Pass fizzed across to the near side. Jaemin Yang looking to drive in towards the paint. Dishes it off. Mid-ranger is good. Rattles around and drops for Minwoo Park, and he shot well.
And that's gorgeous from Yang. Get into the key, force the defense to commit. And Korea's knocking down 15-footers at will. 7
points now for Minwoo Park. Back to the outside to Marcus Howard. Nice pass inside, and the big finish from Kevin Knox.
And that's great ball movement. Get it inside, back out, swing the ball, penetrate inside, force the defense to commit.
Song Hyun Lee picked off. Good tracking back from Marcus Howard in transition, and he gets fouled.
A good professional foul. Stop the fast break, make USA take it out of bounds on the sideline.
Smart moving the ball on, receiving it back on the perimeter. Final 90 seconds or so here, and another turnover, would you believe, 9 in 8.5 minutes for the USA. Jaemin Yang. Korea really being given an opportunity here. That's a tremendous move. Wonderfully done.
A gorgeous move by Shen. You like the patience by Korea. They didn't have anything right away. They were probing and able to get it inside.
And another turnover. And Korea looking for back-to-back baskets to make it a 1-point game, and they should have. Jaemin Yang off the mark. Cartier-Gordon across to the far side, wide open look from the outside. Emmanuel quickly scores. A frantic finish to the first quarter. USA by 6. Min-Suk Sin. The USA back set defensively. There's a gap though, and an open layup by Song Hyun Lee missed. Hung high, not quite finished by Knox. Not finished at the second attempt either by Gordon. Fake behind the back, won't go.
This is breakneck speed, I love it. Back and forth, I feel like we're watching an all-star game.
And a chance for a three-point play for Kevin Knox. And that'll stretch the lead to potentially 9 points, and you just wonder if Korea have missed their opportunity here.
Well, I tell you, I mean, Kevin Knox going strong to the hoop. He's been tough to handle for Korea. Only 8 seconds left. They've got a shot, one more shot before the end of the quarter. They need to make something of it, build a little momentum going into the second quarter.
Three-point play completed by Kevin Knox. He's in double figures with 11 points already. The USA picking the ball off, but not able to get away. Knox all over the place at the moment. 1.9 remaining, and it's still Korea ball.
And here with just less than 2 seconds, it's got to be quick. You've got to be able to turn and shoot right away.
They need to get it off, and they do, just in time, but wide of the target. And rather crazy first quarter sees the USA up by 9, 26 to 17. It hardly tells the whole story, though. They have turned the ball over 11 times in the opening 10 minutes. Korea have had plenty of chances to do some damage from downtown, but have only hit 2 of 9. And they trail at the end of one, USA 26, Korea 17.
And I can't wait to look at these stats. Some of the most astonishing stats I think I've ever seen in one half. I mean, the shooting, fair enough. USA, 55% from 2. Only 3 opportunities from the three-point range. Korea, that's their downfall so far. 2 for 9 from the three-point range. If you want to have an upset, you've got to shoot the ball from 3 well. And then we look at the rebounds, 17 to 2. I mean, that's astonishing. 7 offensive rebounds, 4 assists to 3. And then you have the top scorers. Knox with 11, Carter with 4, Quickly with 3. Lee, the big scorer from Korea, held to only 2 points so far.
The USA dominant inside as we expected they might be. 20 points in the paint to Korea's 4. Korea were going to a certain extent, live or die by the three-point shot if they were to have a chance of beating the gold medal holders. And it's going to take, even from this position down by 9 against this American team at the end of one, a huge turnaround if they're to have any chance of making the Final Four.
You know, here's the USA highlight reel, dunks and layups. Korea, they've done well for themselves so far. They've just missed a lot of open threes that could have changed the game. And they've got to find a way to rebound somehow. There you see second chance points, 8-0 for USA.
Song Jung Lee. Minwoo Park, dished off by Min Sung Sin. Jaemin Yang, knocked away. Turnover for Korea this time. The Americans looking to make them pay as Sexton attacks inside, surrounded by blue jerseys, draws the contact.
And that's USA's bread and butter. You get a turnover and you're going as fast as you can the other way. You don't give a defense a chance to get back in transition. There you see Sexton going hard to the hoop, forcing the defense to commit, and draws himself a foul.
Colin Sexton at the line, 15.7 points per game in 18.2 minutes per game at this tournament. Shooting close to 50% from the field, shooting 88% from the foul line.
You know, I wonder, you talk about 10 turnovers in the first quarter for USA. I wonder, having playing 12 guys deep, if you lose some of that continuity that comes from having a very solid rotation.
Both good for Sexton. The USA have stretched their advantage into double figures, now lead by 11. Song Jung Lee to the baseline and out towards Minwoo Park in the corner. Contact over on the far side, a foul on Troy Brown. Non-shooting foul, so Korea inbounds with Min Chai Park. Another long ranger falls short of the mark. And by Trent Jr., now Gordon. And contact on the edge of the paint.
And interestingly there, USA went to a zone defense on the inbound play, something we haven't seen so far in this game. There you see Sexton smiling, having a good time.
Sexton receives the ball back after the inbound pass. And here's the big man attacking inside, and it's put in.
Well, there's that man, Sexton. We said he can do a lot. We didn't know he could do that.
The first big highlight reel play of the game from the USA. And by Min Chai Park, Min Suk Sin. They'll take the long two-pointer, good for Minwoo Park. He's the one player who shot the ball really well for them, 9 points. Great strong move from Austin Wiley.
Well, you said he used his body very, very well, turned over his left shoulder, and finished excellently.
Song Kyung Lee. Min Suk Sin. Started by Gordon and fouled by Gordon.
Good strong move there by Shin. But somehow Lee has to get himself going. There you see the spin move, good strong move. Only 2 points so far, averages over 20 in this tournament. Quick player, he needs space, he needs to go one-on-one. Let's see if they can free him up.
Here's Jae-min Yang to shoot. Can't knock it down. Another player who's struggling and averages close to 20. Big dunk for Austin Wiley.
And USA gets down the floor so fast. Every single player, as soon as they secure the rebound, is sprinting the other direction.
We talked about the rotations. Just look at the bench scoring, 15-0 for the USA. There's a good score for Song Kyung Lee.
And there you see his quickness and his speed. Give him a little bit of space and he can go by anybody in this tournament.
Wiley taking an awful lot of dealing with at the moment. Gets fouled again. Into the game, Hyung-Song Lee, the number 1 for Korea. Gary Trent Jr. This is Cartier-Gordon onto Wiley. Wiley surrounded by those Korean players, and this time they force a travel.
Hey, maybe that's not a bad defense for Korea. Maybe triple, quadruple team the guy inside. Literally force the ball outside. We haven't seen the USA attempt very many three-pointers, only 3 in this game.
There's a 3 for Korea. It's an air ball from Hyung-Song Lee, who'd only just come in. Big attack from Sexton. He couldn't finish though. Wiley able to grab it, head and shoulders above the rest, and puts it in.
That's really unexcusable for Korea to only have 2 or 3 guys back defensively after the missed shot.
Foul called before the attempted shot from Min Suk Sin. USA by 15 now with 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Second foul called on Cartier-Gordon. Song Kyung Lee averages 23 points per game. Not seen anywhere near those kind of numbers so far today. 4 points for him, 2 points for the number 7. Well, the whistle had already gone.
Yeah, but you see what Brown is capable of. Athletic, long, and extremely skilled. Goes straight into the middle. And he's ready to dunk on anybody in his way.
That American athleticism proving too hard to handle for the Koreans right now.
Well, I think a lot of it too is Korea, they just don't have a lot of bodies to come in off the bench. So they're just slowly getting worn down by this pace.
Pinchai Park looking to move it across. And turnover. Here comes Brown again. There's the pass and put in by Sexton.
Great finish. The ability to catch the ball, go up and under, use your body as protection, use the rim as protection, and then finish.
Min Suk Sin to Song Kyung Lee. Back out to Min Suk Sin again, fouled on the perimeter by Gary Trent Jr. We talked about the range of scoring from the Americans, although it was Kevin Knox well and truly out in front as their leading scorer with 11 points. Sexton now has started to catch him up with 8. Austin Wiley takes a seat on the bench. The USA now by 20. and almost out of sight after just 14 minutes. Min-Chai Park trying to wriggle free and called for the double dribble. Korea are catching the USA up on those turnovers. That's their 10th.
Well, I mean, 23 turnovers in 14 minutes of this game combined. I mean, pretty astonishing numbers.
Sexton on to Jackson Jr. and across to Sexton in the paint again with a whistle on the play. Foul on Sechen Siu-moon.
You know, what you like about USA is they move very well without the ball. They're never stagnant. And as well, they set good screens for each other. That's a sign of a good team that plays well.
Colin Sexton at the line with a chance to move on to double figures along with Kevin Knox in this first half. This is the second, but it's tipped and almost went down. Another offensive board, another miss. Korea really struggling to secure the rebound, and it's still USA ball.
Again, we're going to check those rebound numbers. 24-2 so far in this game. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Here's Troy Brown. Onto the left hand, back onto the right, steps back for three and nails it.
And we talked about his skill level. He can drive to the hoop, he can finish, and he can step back and knock out a three-pointer.
You know, he was only 2 of 12 from downtown over the first 4 games. Certainly has that shot in his locker and showed it there. And Korea answer back with a 3 of their own from Song-Kyun Lee.
Yeah, and Lee can score with the best of them, averaging 23 points a game in this tournament. At some point, he's going to get going.
Sexton. USA turned it over. He had started to protect the ball a little better in this second quarter. You get the impression as the timeout scored that the USA are almost just playing in second or third gear. They're ahead by 22 midway through the second quarter, well and truly in control. Colin Sexton's really come into the game. Fantastic highlight reel play, that follow-up off the miss from Wiley. Sexton coming out of nowhere. Wiley's had an impact off the bench as well. 6 points for him in just under 3 minutes. And a big dunk there. How about that finish? Sexton 9 points. Knox leading the way for the Americans though with 11.
And you said it, USA, they look like they're playing in second or third gear so far, but still there's no excuse to make 14 turnovers halfway through the second quarter. I mean, you've got to do the little things right if you're going to become a great team, if you're going to win this tournament, because teams are only going to get better than Korea in the next 2 rounds.
Song-Kyun Lee to the baseline. Bucket goes to the perimeter. The 3 is good for Korea. And they're back within 19. In fact, it's been called a 2, so it's a 20-point game.
You see Korea now sending 3 guys right away to the post. They've got to figure something out. You know, it's interesting they haven't tried to do a soft zone, something like that to force USA into shooting threes. Here you see the hold. I mean, you see that in the Olympics against the USA. A lot of times teams will play a zone and hope the U.S. misses shots, which sometimes is very effective.
Minwoo Park, the first player onto 3 fouls in the game. So foul trouble for him midway through the second quarter. Jordan Brown making his foul shots. makes them both his first scores of the game. Ball deflected out of bounds, still Korea possession. 4.5 to play in the first half. Song Kyung-lee across to the far side, gets it back. And then again from Min Suk-sin. Long three-pointer. Hyun-Sung Lee firing wildly. Here comes Sexton looking to attack. Over the top of his head, chance at a three-point play.
Big time move by Sexton. Got the ball. He knew exactly what he wanted to do before the catch. One dribble straight to the hole. Jumps off the wrong foot to avoid shot blocking. Beautiful move.
And puts the extra point on the Americans' impressive growing tally. Well on course to hit the century mark. 50 points after less than 16 minutes. It's a wild pass to the corner from Min Suk-sin, who is trapped in on the far side. Korea turn it over for the 11th time.
Well, I tell you, they look worn out already. They're being run to the ground by the USA team. And new players keep coming in. Smart just checks in for Sexton.
And again, it's that short rotation, long minutes for those Korean players throughout the first 4.5 games of this tournament now.
And here you see a zone from Korea.
And the tip from Jackson Jr.
Well, that's the danger in the zone. It's much more difficult to box out. And if you can't even box out in man-to-man, you're in a whole world of trouble.
Three faked, across they go to the far side. Hyun-Sung Lee moves it off, and the big-time block from Jackson Jr.
And you love the intensity. You're up 27 points, and Jackson Jr. sprints out there, knocks the ball into the second row, and he's still yelling and screaming and into this game. He's passionate. That's what you want to see from your players. It doesn't matter what the score is. You play as hard as you can at every point of the game.
First block of the game, perhaps a little surprisingly, given the physical differences between these two sets of players. Long two, good for Hyun-Sung Lee.
You're going to say again that time tried the zone. It just overhelped slightly.
Across to the far side to Quickly, who unleashes from downtown. Can't hit. Korea able to grab the rebound, looking to come down court quickly. Min Suk-sin moves it across to Song Hyun Lee, and a foul called. It's on Marcus Howard. First foul on Howard. What's the aim now for Korea at this stage, given the deficit?
Well, you've got to keep working. You've got to run your stuff. I mean, this team is going to be back next year. They're going to play in classification games and so on. You can't get overawed to the point where you just start quitting. I mean, you've got to continue to play with a certain structure. I mean, that's really the key.
And it's all part of the learning process to win, of course. They won their first ever youth gold at the Under-16 Asian Championships last year. It's part of the learning process to lose as well.
Well, absolutely. It's a whole different level from playing some of the teams in Asia to playing the #1 team in the world.
Marcus Howard with the three stretches the USA's lead. Mid-ranger falls short from Han Young Kim. Quickly able to try and grab his own rebound, couldn't quite secure it. Korea pull up for a three. It's an air ball short, and they really are struggling.
You know, that's what we talked about. Remain within your structure. Keep doing what you're capable of doing. You know, pulling up from three, you know, on a 1-on-2 non-break, it's not what you want. There you go, Korea missed 9 consecutive three-point attempts.
And that was the only way they were going to be able to challenge the USA. If they lit it up from the outside, they have been stone cold. The Americans getting the ball straight back, and the finish from Cartier-Gordon.
You know what America has done well in this game? They finished very, very well at the rim. We've seen in some of the past games, Turkey, Spain didn't finish well at all.
Here come the USA, looking to go coast to coast quickly again. Good adjustment mid-air from Kevin Knox. They're up by 32.
Close to a travel, hey, but at this point, let him play.
Min-Suk Sin to the near side, wide open three-pointer. Stops the bleeding from downtown for Korea after 9 straight misses. Manuel quickly towards the foul line, moved on by Gordon. Put up from the outside by Knox. Big rebound for Cartier Gordon, and he puts that one in. And a hard fall as well, as Gordon doubles his tally to 4. Right towards the end of the first half, a minute and 12 remaining in the second quarter. We're going to have a little break because of that hard fall and a timeout.
Would you like Korea? They're still fighting. They're still trying to get rebounds. It's futile at this point. We'll check the rebound tally. 31-4.
The Koreans might have come into this quarterfinal dreaming of beating this USA team. It's already now mission impossible if it wasn't at the start. And they have to keep trying to execute and keep trying to learn from this experience. The Americans have shown their athleticism at both ends of the court. Thrown right back into American hands. Marcus Howard towards the foul line, hanging it high to the low post, flicked up and in by Knox.
We've been impressed with Knox. He finishes very well at the hoop. He has good hands. He's agile. He's got a bright future.
15 points in the first half for the American number 10. Song Hyun Lee moved on to this near side, Hang Yong Kim. And the rebound grabbed by Howard. Howard with the quick pass. Oh! The attack from Knox wouldn't quite go down. And Korea score at the other end was Sechin Siu-moon.
Big time finish by Siu-moon. Going left, away from the hoop, hangs and floats and knocks it in.
Knox to Smart. Moved on by Quickly to the far side. Gordon. Back to the far side it goes again, quickly calling for the ball in the near corner. It's not going to come his way, it doesn't matter. Gordon puts it in.
A good strong move by Gordon, goes left, bounces around the defender. And now every single player on the USA team has scored. And they're looking to post 130, 140 on this Korean team.
It's been another demolition job from the United States, the defending champions here at the Under-17 FIBA World Championships. 65-32, their lead at half-time. A couple of players in double figures, Knox with 15, Sexton with 12. As we look at the shooting numbers, the USA doing pretty well inside, not really needing to take those three-pointers. They've hit 3 of 8. Korea have taken 17, hit just 3 themselves.
You look here at the rebounds and wow, 32-5 for USA. 13 offensive rebounds in the first half. That's astonishing. 11 assists. They were moving the ball very well. And here's your game leaders. Knox with 15. Jackson Jr. 6 rebounds. On the other side, Park with 9. Shin and Yang contributed. And some more top scorers. Sexton got into the act. He played very well in the first half. Gordon, we saw him late with a nice little bunny hop and layup. He had 6.
The USA started well, although Korea kept up with them for at least the first 5 minutes, and then they started to pull away. Korea given opportunities to stay in the game. The 11, I think it was, first quarter turnovers from the Americans. Missed 3-pointers though for Korea, a couple of missed layups that might have helped them stay in touch. And the USA really made them pay the longer that first half went on. This was all when the Koreans were still doing okay. And the USA in the end making their talent and athleticism and height and physical advantage inside allow them to stretch the gap more and more the longer the half went on. Some big highlight reel dunks from Kevin Knox along the way. A rare basket for Min Suk Sin of Korea to delight their travelling fans. But it's Colin Sexton and co who are well and truly in control of this quarter-final. The USA lead Korea 65-32, and we'll be back with the second half in around 10 minutes' time. Welcome back to the Siglo Ventuno Pavilion. The USA well and truly in control as we get ready to start the second half. Kevin Knox, a large part of the reason why, their leading scorer with 15. In that first half, shooting 6 of 10 from the field. We had a look there as well at the leading scorer for Korea, one of the players who really has 9 points, although Zong Hyun Lee and Jae-min Yang, their 2 big scorers in this tournament, have struggled. 3 of 17 from downtown is the potential missed opportunity for Korea here. 15 American turnovers. They lead though by 33, shooting 62% inside, 3 of 8 from downtown for them as well. Aside from the 15 of Knox, 12 for Sexton, who's 4 of 6 from the field. And they've spread the rest of their scoring around pretty evenly. A bunch of players between 4 and 6 points. Marcus Howard, one of those on 5. And with this game, at least in terms of progression through to the semi-final, seemingly already well and truly done and dusted, what are the messages from the 2 sets of coaching staff to their 2 respective rosters at half-time, Lyndon?
Yeah, I think if you're on the Korea side, the thing is to stay organized. You don't want to get into this kind of yard up and down playground style and just completely lose your focus. This is a teaching moment. This is a chance for young guys to get better. They're playing against the #1 team in the world. You know, this is a great opportunity to prove to the USA. You've got to stick to your fundamentals. It's unexcusable to have 14, 15 turnovers at halftime. I mean, there's no way that should happen. You've got to stick to your principles defensively, stick to your principles offensively, run your sets. Remember, they're going to play much better teams in this, going forward. Turkey and then whoever on the other side of the bracket. So a lot to be learned from the second half.
It was a 26-17 first quarter, not too bad for Korea. The second quarter, the USA scored 39 points. And well and truly on course now to go above their 104-point average in this tournament. And maybe even make their record score here. They're en route to stretching their unbeaten run at the FIBA U17 World Championships to 28 games and looking to take their 4th straight gold medal. All the fans, young and old, enjoying the vast array of talent on court.
And it's important for the fans to take this game. And, you know, they might be looking at future NBA superstars out here. You said Andre Drummond played in this thing. Andrew Wiggins played recently. You know, on the women's side, Breanna Stewart played. So a lot of high-level talent comes out of this tournament.
No shortage of it in the American ranks as we start the second half, leading by 33. Korea looking for the first score of the third quarter. Sechin Seo-moon rejected by Carter Jr. The USA looking to go coast to coast. There's a whistle on the play.
And that's the difference for USA players. In America, that's not a travel. Here, you've got to put the ball down right away in transition. Great block by Carter Jr. He read that the whole way.
When it goes to Jae-min Yang towards the baseline, and he gets it to go with the foul as well.
And this could be the start of something. Could be the miracle in Zaragoza today. Down 33 to start the second half. Larger leads have been overcome.
I think they'd need to go 100% from downtown in the second half. Three-point play good though for Jae-min Yang.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Javonte Smart back to Gary Trent Jr. He's going to fire for 3.
You know, Korea's happy for USA to take those shots all day long.
Min-Suk Singh across to Jae-Min Yang, getting inside again, trying to hang it over the top of Wendell Carter Jr. Far easier said than done. USA come down court quickly. Gary Trent Jr. backs it in. Plenty of family and friends in attendance as well for the Americans. A whistle called on the play as it's put in by Zong Hyun Lee.
Yeah, maybe a little generous on that and one. You know, in the NBA, you'd see that with the continuation. Here you see another block by Carter Jr. He's just all over the backboard. Blocking shots, altering shots.
The extra point on the board from Zong Hyun Lee, up to double figures.
In Korea, this is probably the defense they should have started at the beginning of the game, forcing USA into more outside shots. But there you see Carter Jr. He's come to play in the second half, and that's what you want to see from your players.
Zong Hyun Lee onto Min-Suk Singh. Zong Hyun Lee again. Quick crossovers, trying to find a route to the rim. Rejected by Wendell Carter Jr. again, although Korea get it to go from the far side. Sechin Seo-moon. Troy Brown to respond from downtown.
Well, he's got a nice stroke. He hasn't shot well so far in this tournament, but he's capable of shooting off the dribble, on the move. 2 for 2 so far today.
9 points for the number 9. Min-Suk Singh to the foul line. Rebound not quite reeled in by Do-Won Lee, and here he comes again for the big jam. Troy Brown into double figures.
I think if Korea had to do this game again, they would maybe start in zone. Maybe every time they had a missed shot, even a shot was taken, all 5 guys would sprint back into the key. It's just far too many easy transition baskets for USA.
Jae-Min Yang unable to control the ball on the baseline.
And that's the key. You know, I know that we saw the Turkey coaches here watching this game. They, you know, they're looking at this thinking, if we can get USA into a half-court offense, we might have a shot.
Wendell Carter Jr. surrounded by blue jerseys, and here come Korea. Fast break opportunity, and they put it in.
And that's a way to be effective against the USA. As soon as the ball goes on the floor and the post, surround USA's big men, force them into being passers, something they're not comfortable with.
Cross to the near side to Gary Trent Jr. Beautiful stroke on that one. His first 3 of this quarterfinal. And a chance to score again, a free route to the rim.
A great strong move. We see what he can do from outside, take it to the hole and finish. As anybody I've ever seen. One of the great college players, nicknamed Shaq of the MAC.
Troy Brown moving it on to Javonte Smart. USA ball still. A couple of big rejections from Wendell Carter Jr. in this third quarter. And a big jam that time from Troy Brown. Knox gets fouled and he'll go to the line. Hasn't scored yet in the third quarter after 15 in the first half.
You know, if I'm the Korea coach, I call a timeout right here and I get on my guys and say, listen, we've got to play until the last whistle. It doesn't matter what the score is. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You know, and this is how you get better. This is how you become a great player. And that's what the USA has been taught throughout their program, starting with Coach Mike Krzyzewski with the senior team.
Kevin Knox gets them both to fall, ups his tally to 17.
You know, speaking of the senior team, the Olympics this summer is going to be fantastic. You know, Spain probably isn't quite what they've been in recent years. Argentina's perhaps a little bit down. But so many good teams out there. The USA is yet to be determined if they're going to have the ability and the skill that they've had in the past, but they're always going to be good.
We'll look forward to the tournament in Rio in Brazil later this summer. In terms of the youth program for For the USA, it's 8 straight gold medals. A tremendous response after a disappointing showing at the Under-19 World Championships back in 2011. They've won 8 tournaments in a row, highlighted by the Under-19 World Championship last year. This tournament in 2014 and 2012, as well as previously the first edition of this competition in 2010. Korea off the back of their first gold medal, winning the Asian Under-16 Championships last year. They're going to go out at the quarter-final stage here, still have classification games to play to try and finish as high up in the rankings as possible. Song-Hyun Lee from the foul line. It's a 36-point game and an open dunk for Wendell Carter Jr. Sechin Seo-moon gets it back and he'll fire for 3. Short. Carter Jr. still battling for every loose ball.
You know, regardless, here you see some of the USA players. Smart, the line lead. Shen. Carter Jr. has been immense in this third quarter, getting his chance to shine. You know, regardless for Korea, it's a terrific accomplishment to come out here and finish in the quarterfinals. One of the top 8 teams in the world at the age level.
Midway point of the third quarter. The USA by 38 points. Song-Hyun Lee to the foul strike, put up off the mark Jae-min Yang. Rebound from Marcus Howard. Knox, on it goes to Gary Trent Jr., who forces it up and in.
That's good, solid basketball against the zone. Got it into the corner and then played the high-low. That's what USA has got to do going forward, because a lot of teams are going to try and play zone.
Gary Trent Jr. becomes the 4th American into double figures. Korea moving the ball around the perimeter, get inside to the foul line. Shot off the mark from Hae-Yun-jung Kim. Hung high, not quite on the mark for Wendell Carter Jr. Jae-min Yang. Back out to Song-Hyun Lee. Min-Suk Sin. Shot clock at 5. He's going to pull up for the long 2. Rebound grabbed by Troy Brown. Brown forces it forward to Gary Trent Jr. for 3. Trying to recover his own rebound. Great hustle from him. And that time it's finished off with an exclamation mark by Carter Jr.
Great job by Carter Jr. He recognized that coming the entire way. He pointed up before the ball came.
How about the hustle play before that, though? At this stage of the game, more than 40 points up, and players still working hard. It's great to see. Colin Sexton back into the ball game. Korea won't be too happy to see him. Emmanuel quickly in as well. There's Carter Jr. once more, a little short, grabbed by Jae-min Yang. Korea quickly down court. The USA getting back well in transition. A three for Korea over the top of the basket. And the Americans come away with it. Here comes Sexton. An open dunk for Austin Wiley.
You see Korea tried to foul in transition to slow USA down, but there's no stopping this locomotive. 89 points with 3 minutes to go in the third.
Foul on Sexton as Jaemin Yang drove to the hoop. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. The USA's lead has grown and grown.
And a big, strong move by Yang. Now if he can knock down these free throws, move his point total up just slightly. I mean, now it's about pride. You go home and tell your friends, hey, I scored 20 points against the best team in the world, you know?
Maybe when you talk to the grandkids about who you've played against, some of these names will be household names.
Exactly.
Colin Sexton. Quickly, back to Sexton again. Austin Wiley, long range shot for him. Drops out, dunked back in by Carter Jr. again.
And he's all over the place, rebounding, blocking shots, dunking.
12.6 boards in 12 minutes.
And interesting, USA is trying to line up with their two tallest players on the court right now, in Wiley and Carter Jr.
Sexton with a rebound. Brings the ball over half court quickly. Fires it into the low post. There's one of those bigs, Austin Wiley.
And that's good fundamentals by Wiley. Get to the low post, use your body. Then when you have the ball, just over your left shoulder, nice little baby hook.
Wiley becomes the 6th American into double figures with still 12 minutes to play. Grabs a rebound there as well. Here's Sexton, 12 points for him. Pass was too high off the fingertips of Wiley. It's Korea ball.
And USA now with turnover number 20 in the game. It's slowed down a little bit since the first quarter. Nevertheless, that's something they've got to work on in the next 2 games.
They've averaged 15 a game over the first 4 games, 20 already today. Still 12 minutes to play. You know, we've seen all the other teams involved today having a real test. Spain against Turkey is the first semi-final tomorrow. We've got the USA against Lithuania. Is it in any way a hindrance for the USA if they haven't had a test as they head towards the latter stages?
Well, absolutely. I think when you get into close games, you know, you've got to know what your lineup is as a coach. And then you see long-range bomb from quickly, but as a coach, you've got to know what's your game when the going gets tough, and as players, you've got to know who you can rely on when it gets to that point. Who's your go-to guy? And that's a problem when you're going 12 deep.
Some shots being knocked down towards the end of the third here. Han Young Kim, who's come into the game in this second half.
Lithuania, we see the way they play, they're going to give USA some problems. They might struggle to rebound, but they're going to give USA a whole lot of problems running that pick and roll.
Austin Wiley at the foul line, 11 of 20 over the first 4 games, misses that one. Wiley 10 points and 3 rebounds in just 6 minutes on court today. Misses both. It's a 3 that's good for Han Young Kim. Back-to-back field goals from him. Only played around 2.5 minutes in 1 game before today.
Well, he's feeling it right now. He's got an opportunity against the best team in the world, and he's taking advantage of it. You know, and when they move up the next level to the, you know, under 18s, he's going to have an opportunity to play.
Well, that's the other thing. We talk about the short rotation from Korea. One or two other players getting a chance today against the best team in the world, and it's an opportunity to impress the coaching staff.
Well, absolutely.
Final 30 seconds of the third, 45-point differential, and a foul called.
Good strong move there by Lee. He's been quiet a lot of this game. He's got 11 points. They've been quiet points. A man who averages 23 a game. He was supposed to be their offensive reference. It hasn't really happened so far. Still a lot of people here to check out this USA team. There's college scouts in the building.
Song-Kyung Lee for those 13 points now is 4 of 10 from the field. Final seconds of the third quarter. Emmanuel quickly, and gets it back from Colin Sexton. USA looking to hold it. What could be the final shot of the quarter, and there's a foul on Hae Young-jun Kim, who's actually playing here for the first time in the tournament.
Well, now, hey, here's his opportunity to show off for his coach.
Sexton to inbound the ball, 8.6 remaining in the third. Quickly, spots a gap, drove into it, found the free man in the corner. A 3 off the mark from Howard, though. Not away in time for Korea. And the USA within touching distance of a century in points here, with a quarter still to play. And within touching distance of a place back at the Final Four of the Under-17 World Championships again. They lead 96-53 over Korea at the end of 3. Look at those shooting numbers. The USA 67% inside, and 6 of 15 from downtown. Korea just 20% from the outside, an area that they can so often excel in, but not here today. And the rebounding numbers so impressive. The offensive board 16-1 in favor of the USA. The overall numbers 45-10.
And here we have turnovers. USA 21 turnovers to 3 quarters, far too many. 12 steals, 10 for Korea, and then of course the blocks. Way, way out in front for the USA, 4-0. You see the Korean coach and the American coach. I mean, this is the point. This is where you earn your paycheck as a coach. You've got to be able to get your guys motivated no matter what the situation. You know, the USA players, they're fighting for minutes. They want to play when the game gets tough. And the Korean players, they're fighting to prove themselves for next year, you know, for the under-18s if they're moving up, for their professional teams if they move along in their careers. You know, there's always something to play for as an athlete.
The USA players want to get their minutes in the semi-finals and hopefully in the final. It's certainly a stage to impress. And there is so much competition, so much depth on that roster. Sexton, one man who's impressed. Across it goes to the far side to Howard. Howard towards, quickly on the perimeter, towards the baseline. Dish pass inside and a free dunk for Jackson Jr.
Good strong move by Quickly going baseline. Kept his head up the whole way. He knew somebody was going to be open because he drew 3 players and made the right decision.
Jaemin Yang. Now Dong-jung Kim moved on to Jaemin Yang again. Han Young Kim. Seo Moon had it picked off. Here comes Sexton to take off.
Big time. Well, you like that from your guards, playing hard-nosed defense, looking for the steal and getting out and breaking.
USA hit the century mark. They lead by 47. A rare Korean basket, Dong-jung Kim. Korea able to come forward looking for back-to-back baskets. Jackson Jr. was in the way. Sexton looking to fly again. Fouled above the rim.
USA still pushing the ball, still going hard. Everybody wants to get involved, you know, and now they're searching for highlights. In Korea, they've got a, there you see the fast forward speed of Sexton.
He gets himself a trip to the line to try and add to his 14 points. A chance to overtake his average, although that chance disappears after that first miss. 15.7 is average. Make it 15 in the quarter-final for Colin Sexton. Jae-min Yang, nice cut to the basket. Shot no good first time, but put back in by Min Suk-sin.
And I've been impressed by Shin. He's played fearless. He hasn't shot the ball very well, but he's been all over the place.
Strong move on the baseline from Austin Wiley. Again, a cut to the basket.
Great cut by Yang. Right down the heart of the defense. And now Korea gets back into the zone. That's what they got to do. Make USA uncomfortable. USA wants to run. That's what they want to do.
Sexton getting inside, trying to find Wiley. Knocked away. It's Korea ball.
And any team watching this game, you know, here's Sexton with the dunk. Lithuania, their coaches are here. Turkey's coaches are here. Spain, in case they meet in the final. You know, they're looking at this and saying, what can we do to make USA uncomfortable?
Again, the cut from Jae-min Yang.
USA guys looking around. Who's guarding that guy? 2 straight back cuts for layups.
Sexton again putting the moves on the Korean defense and getting contact along the way.
So quick with the ball, Sexton. I mean, you wonder what he could do with long minutes, playing 30 minutes a game type of thing. You know, could he come into this tournament, average 20, 25 points a game? You know, I think he could because he's just so quick, so difficult to guard. And we've seen some great players today. And there's the move straight to the hoop. Had to foul him.
He's not just been a scorer, he's averaged 2 steals a game as well through the course of this tournament. 4.3 boards, 2.7 assists, shooting close to 50%. 16 points here today.
What a great day of basketball this has been all the way around. So many top games, big-time players. You know, I think the game we saw earlier that France lost was one of the best games either of us have seen in a long time at any level.
Lithuania getting the better of France by a point in overtime. An absolute classic of a quarter-final that had so many highlight reel plays. 2 of the best dunks you'll ever see. And we've had 3 close quarter-finals before this blowout. Spain getting the better of Australia, Turkey getting the better of Canada.
You know, I think what that proved in the quarterfinals, teams who play controlled, who can run the pick and roll, and especially who are capable of playing inside are going to be successful in this tournament.
Cartier-Gordon with a score to take him to 8 points. And another one for Jae-min Yang, who now has 12. Howard. Gordon lost it, able to grab it again, trying to force it up. He'll go to the line. Cartier-Gordon, one of those 7 Americans averaging in double figures. He's the only one of those players not quite there yet here today, but he has a chance to reach 10 from the foul line.
What you like to see with this American team, especially with their big men, a lot of them are very skilled inside, have nice touch. You know, what we don't know yet is if they can pass out of the double team, the triple team, if they're going to be able to distribute for their teammates. They just haven't had to do that today. Haven't had to do that in this entire tournament. You know, we'll likely see that against Lithuania as well.
107-63 the score as Min Suk-sin gets one to go from the outside.
He's now in double digits.
It's 4 in double figures for Korea. 66 points against this American team at this stage. Not a bad tally, but they've conceded 107.
And you know, credit to Korea. They've played fearless this entire match. They just don't have the bodies or the legs or just the raw talent to compete with this American team.
Foul called as the pass came in towards Jordan Brown. Jordan Brown's only been on court for 3 minutes this evening. Has been averaging close to 14. And his jersey being pulled there. 3 points for Brown, off the mark. Korea continue to look to score. 6 minutes to play. Dongjun Kim, Min-suk Sin, then to the corner, off the mark by Min-woo Park. Big battle for the rebound. Jae-min Yang coming away with it. Min-suk Sin to Dongjun Kim. He's going to drive inside. Strong move and high off the window.
Woo! Big time move over the outstretched arms of Gordon. You thought the whole time it was going to be a block, but beautiful left hand.
The floater good from Marcus Howard. 7 points for him now. And a game free in the paint, Jae-min Yang. He's made a habit of that here in the fourth. Midway point to the final quarter. The Americans by 39. Off the mark with the first attempt, back in with the second attempt from Jordan Brown. Min-chai Park for Korea, hands it off to Dongjun Kim. Min-suk Sin trying to get the defense moving. Shot clock down to 5, found a route inside, couldn't hit the shot though. The rebound for Gordon. 3 passed up by Brown on the far side, taken though by Howard. Offensive board for Gordon and he puts it in. So Gordon becomes player number 7 into double figures for the USA. The timeout called with America leading by 43, 113 to 70, just under 4.5 remaining in the game.
And you see the great move by Kim with the left hand over the outstretched arms of Gordon. You know, Korea, they post 80 points against the USA. Hey, not a bad number at all. And we've talked about it. Here you hear from the Korean coach.
Look at the foul trouble here. 3 fouls for Brown for the US. No real concern for them. For Korea, there's Min-woo Park on 4 fouls. They've shot the ball well in this fourth quarter without too much defensive pressure though. The dunk there from Jackson Jr. 4 points, 8 rebounds for him. Contributions all round on this American roster. Min-chai Park. Dongjun Kim attacking inside, another strong move. Can't get it to drop this time. Min-chai Park able to grab the offensive board. Plenty of hustle being shown by Korea down the stretch, even with the game out of sight. Shot clock down to 3. The 3 ball too long. Quick pass by Sexton down court. And a foul called as Gordon put it in.
A great outlet pass by Sexton. Grabbed the ball, had the awareness to look up immediately and locate the streaking Gordon, who still had a lot to do when he caught the ball. 1 dribble and finished. And I've been impressed with Gordon in this game. You know, he's not just a shot blocker. He has touch, he can score down low. He's capable of putting the ball on the floor.
He's got 14 points.
I think one of the keys, if you're USA as a coaching staff, is to look at this team and say, you know, if we had one possession to win the game, who are the 5 players we put on the court? I mean, that's the problem when you go 12 deep.
Long 2 from Min Woo Park takes him into double figures. That's 5 in double figures for Korea. Sexton for 3. Got it from the outside.
He's been immense today. And, you know, you look at his game, and he's kind of the reference point for this team, especially as they play tougher competition. He's got to be the guy who has the ball in his hands, who's making decisions.
Sexton, the leading scorer in the game, now with 19, surpassing the 7 of which came in the first half. Checking out is Troy Brown, one of those 7 in double figures. Min-Chai Park. Move it on to Dong-Jun Kim. Back onto the right hand, strong drive again, but denied this time by Gordon. Quarterback pass down court as well, and finished off by Jordan Brown. Korea with a quick pass of their own. Min-Suk Sin with the finish.
And these teams both have to focus on getting back in transition. It's getting sloppy. It's kind of like the game where you go up to the rec center and it just ends up being up and down, and that's where we're at here with 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Cartier Gordon profiting from that, now has 16 points, 7 rebounds. And we're going to time out with 2.5 minutes.
Here you see some good, strong moves by Kim with the left hand, and that's one of the first of the 2 back cuts for Yang. There's the second. Finishes well. You know, we said it, this Korean team, they fight. They don't have the manpower, but they will definitely fight tooth and nail.
You know, Dong-Jun Kim is one of those players who looks like he's playing for more minutes in those classification games. He's only averaged 15 minutes a game, and he's come on here in the fourth and played some really aggressive stuff.
Well, absolutely, and you know, that's what you want as a coach. You look at your players and say, who's going to play as hard as they can when they have, you know, nothing to gain.
Min-Chai Park hanging it high over the top of Cartier Gordon.
And one thing, Korea, they can hang their hat. They've now scored more points than any other of USA's opponents in this tournament. Before them, Turkey was the highest at 66. There you see the great layup on the other end. So they've achieved something no other team has achieved so far. So they can go back home with their heads held high.
That was Min-Chai Park's first score of this tournament. He's played 8 minutes now, hadn't played in any of the first 4 games. Another player who's playing for his place. Smart across to Quickly. Javonte Smart takes on the 3. Offensive ball grabbed by Brown. Korea come away with it though. Final 2 minutes. They're looking to hit that 80-point mark. Jaemin Yang across to the far side it goes. Dong-Jun Kim. The 3 for Jaemin Yang. 2 long rebound Wiley. Sexton. Pass cut off though by Dong-Jun Kim. And that's a lovely move from Do-Won Lee.
It is indeed his first points of the game. You thought he might go behind the back with the assist. Instead, he did the beautiful crossover Euro step.
The 3 from Sexton. Do-Won Lee's played just 2 minutes in the tournament so far. You just wonder maybe why some of these other Korean players haven't played a bit more. I know the game's kind of gone, but they're certainly playing hard and they've got some talent. Here's one of them, banks in the 3, Dong-Jun Kim.
The Korean bench, they love it. You drop 80 points against this USA team, you've done something. Good for them.
Final minute of the game. The USA shooting a 3. And Javonte Smart puts it in. They're closing in on 130.
Hey, you drop 80 points on USA, you forced them into 25 turnovers. You've done all right for yourself.
Rebound grabbed by Brown. Long pass from him. Hung high! A Sexton-sized dunk.
We were waiting for that. He's been eyeing that dunk all night long.
Saving the best for last. The lead stretched to 50. Here's Sexton. Thought about the three for some time. Didn't hit it. Second chance now. Korea looking for each and every point they can get. It's recovered by Quickly. And here goes Sexton behind the back pass, put in by Brown. Highlight reel stuff from the Americans. One final chance perhaps to score for Korea. Dong Jung Kim off the mark. The Americans march on into the Final Four yet again. They extend their unbeaten records at this tournament. 28-0 now. The reigning gold medal holders set up a semi-final clash with Lithuania tomorrow. They were out of sight early on against Korea, ended up winning it by 52, behind 7 players in double figures and led by the 24 points of Colin Sexton. The Koreans did well themselves to score over 80 and continue to fight in the second half, and that made it a lot more interesting than it could have been, Flinder.
Well, absolutely, and we talked about Korea. They came out fearless. They didn't have, you know, the raw talent, the skill, the players, the whatever you want to say, but they played fearless against this USA team. And, you know, USA, it was a good professional performance. They did what they had to do. They're moving on, but a lot of questions are going to be asked as they move forward in this tournament. We've seen some of these games today. Lithuania is now playing better than they've ever played in this tournament. Turkey's playing excellent basketball. Spain didn't play as well as they could play, but there's another level they can play at. So there's going to be some tests for this USA team, and the gold medal isn't a foregone conclusion. Here we see some of the stats. USA 70% two-pointers, a lot of those were dunks. They shot well from beyond the arc, that's good. And Korea, 48% inside against the big shot blockers, that's excellent. And then, of course, the rebounds, shocking numbers, 60 to 17, 21 offensive rebounds.
Look at the game leaders, 24 points for Sexton, leading 7 in double figures for the Americans, 14 for Yang for Korea in the end. For the USA, 17 from Knox, 15 of those were in the first half, 16 for Gordon. They also had 12 apiece for Carter Jr. and Wiley, 11 apiece for Brown and Trent Jr.
Here you see some more highlights from this game. A lot of highlights to be had, a very up and down game, just like USA liked. Korea, they weren't afraid to push the ball, get out in transition as well. We were impressed by Carter Jr., who we saw there. Another block coming from the weak side. Again, a block. Brown, he did some damage as well.
You look at the attitude of the players in games like this as well, where it's already been blown out in the first half, and Wendell Carter Jr. is a player that really was fighting for every ball, even when it was a 30-40 point game. That's what the coaches are looking for.
Well, yeah, they're looking for that, and also these guys are playing for minutes. We said who's going to be the 5 players on the court when push comes to shove. Well, these USA players, they understand it. They don't know it yet. They're playing to be on the court at the end of the game in the gold medal match. So every single minute on the court counts.
The Americans yet to be tested in any of their matches. They've won 5 in a row at this tournament, an average winning margin of around 50 points. The closest anyone's got to them, Turkey, who lost by 18. Can Lithuania test them tomorrow in the semi-final?
Well, I think they can. It's going to be tough for Lithuania because USA is so athletic and gets out in transition so well. But if Lithuania can find a way to slow the game down, run the pick and roll, and of course they've got to shoot the ball well. There's no question. They didn't shoot the ball very well today. If they shoot the ball well, they're going to have a chance. the other key is Lithuania, they're going to play much more disciplined. They're going to play a zone. They're going to pack it in. They're going to rebound much better than Korea. They're going to frustrate the USA team a little bit. You know, and the coach is then going to have to make some decisions. He hasn't made this entire tournament. Who do you put on the court? Who's going to stop the bleeding? Who can stop the pick and roll? So it should be interesting.
The Final Four lineup at the Under-17 World Championships is set. Spain against Turkey tomorrow, and the United States taking on Lithuania as well to try and keep hold of their gold medal. They win this quarterfinal over Korea by 52, 133 to 81.